Well, we start here tonight with this conversation. Renowned British photographer David Yarrow's solo exhibition titled Storytelling has come to South Africa. The captivating showcase, which demonstrates the transformative power of photography, is set to captivate art enthusiasts until Sunday, the 19th of November 2023. Now, the event is being held at Scapegoat Gallery at Hyde Park Corner, right here in Johannesburg. And the photographer has a long history with South Africa, having taken incredible wildlife photos in the country over the years. And to tell us more about the exhibition is Scapegoat Gallery manager Matthew Krouse, who joins me in studio now. Good evening to you, Matthew. Welcome to Newsnight. It's an absolute pleasure to have you to talk about art this evening. For those who have not heard of the British photographer David Yarrow, just give us some context on his role when it comes to art, specifically here in South Africa.
Okay, well, I'll start with his biography. He was born in Glasgow in 1966. We cut 20 years later. He was working for the London Times, and he took an iconic photograph of Maradona winning the World Cup trophy in Mexico City, 1986. And that got legs and became like one of the most viewed photographs, let's say, of all time.
Yeah.
The guy is holding the trophy aloft, and the stadium is full and raving. And when he was here last week, he explained to us that from there he kind of saw the transformation of photography. And he saw the digital revolution that has obviously affected photography and has promoted, has boosted photography so that every single person with a phone can be a great photographer.
Yeah.
So what happens to great photographers when everyone's a great photographer? They have to move the game up so much quicker.
Yes.
And have to actually really consider what they're doing. And so he decided that he would combine various elements. He was taking photographs of the natural world. He's adamant that he's not a wildlife photographer. But what he does do is he gives animals like a human personality. He spends an enormous amount of time, I guess, stalking them, waiting, getting the shot, and making these incredibly engrossing and electrifying images of animals. And then he started to do the same thing with human beings. And the human beings that he selected were really the top echelon of the modeling industry at the time. And he struck up a relationship with Cindy Crawford, who's become his like iconic character in many of his pictures. And he's combined, let's say, fashion photography with documentary photography, with his own brand of almost surrealism, to make these incredibly immersive, enormous images that are unlike any other photographs in the professional and fine art photographic world that exist.
I think his work speaks true to the saying, a picture speaks 1,000 words. I mean, on our video wall here this evening, we have some of his images, and it's just astounding, the story that the pictures tell. And that brings me to my next point, the art of telling stories through photography. The exhibition is titled Storytelling. Let's talk through that concept and how the storytelling has now developed in this new space, in this new age.
Lovely. So he has said that he doesn't take photographs, he tells stories.
Yeah, and that's evident.
He doesn't tell stories in one place. He tells stories right across the planet. He goes from Alaska to Montana to Southern Africa. He's been in Namibia. He has been following the great apes in Central Africa. And he has, for storytelling, which is the current international exhibition at Scapegoat Gallery, he has borrowed heavily from his obsession with the cinema. He loves movies, and he loves this thing called Americana. He is absolutely drawn to the imagery of Middle America, and the imagery of pop America, pop culture in America. He is the quintessential pop artist, whereas he is not a pop artist in the Andy Warhol, even like say Basquiat sense. He is not a radical imagist. What he does is he carefully crafts references to the history of cinema. So, for example, we have, and you can see it up on the screen, we have Cindy Crawford doing a pose from North by Northwest in a picture called South by Southwest, and that was an Alfred Hitchcock movie to start off with. And then we have like supermodels like Cara Delevingne and Kiara Wilson, her husband, whose name is Russell Wilson. They all kind of like seem to occupy this mysterious space where you're quite sure that you've seen these faces before, you know who the famous faces are, but you've never seen the context, and you believe that it comes from a feature film that you should have seen.
Sure.
But they don't. So he's constructing, and it takes weeks to construct these images. He's constructing these like these one-off film stills in which, in fact, an enormous amount of visual information exists outside of the still.
Matthew, I wanted to talk about then the importance of and the significance of bringing this exhibition to South Africa and for Scapegoat Gallery to have this collaboration. Why was it important to showcase in South Africa specifically? Okay, well, Scapegoat Gallery, which is on level 6 of Hyde Park Corner, very close by, is really South Africa's a premier pop art destination. There is no gallery like it in this country. And the owners of the gallery went to, well, they communicated with David Yarrow and started to plan to bring in select pieces, because his pieces are really, really, really enormous. They travel, they have to be framed when they arrive, and then, of course, an audience has to be found for them. And of course, the bar is set incredibly high because Yarrow is such a famous guy. Of course. So the gallery is a pop art destination, and we have had some of the world's greatest pop artists on our walls. We've had visits from some of the most alluring names, like Auguste, Emmanuel Tozzoli, Cécile Plaisance, who's like a French feminist who does like kinetic imagery, also in photography. And so the point was that the owners and directors of the gallery decided that they needed to extend the brief of the gallery. Sure. It couldn't just be like traditional pop art, but we needed a kind of like a signature solo exhibition by a breathtaking international name to kind of elevate our game. And you found just that? Well, David Yarrow has shot some images in Southern Africa. He's done some wildlife, he's got some links over here. He is also the ambassador of various foundations. Sure. And one is the Kevin Richardson Foundation, which is dedicated to the rehabilitation of lions. I see. He contributes to that. And so when he met with the owners in Miami, at Art Basel Miami, he said, well, you know, I know Southern Africa, and I'm prepared to be challenged by South Africa and by this pop art kind of rhetoric, and see whether or not there's some sort of synergy between us and him. And so here Matthew, it is. Earlier you spoke about the audience. Just quickly, the exhibition is currently showcasing. Yes. It's showcasing until the 19th of November. Until the 19th, indeed. How do people attend? Where do they purchase tickets? There are no tickets, quickly? And that's the great thing about the gallery system in our country, is you walk in and you are at home. We are Scapegoat Gallery on level 6, Hyde Park Corner. The show may travel. Okay, so watch this space. We are open 7 days a week, as Hyde Park is open 7 days a week. And you out there, you're most welcome. Please come along. Stunning. Thank you, Matthew, for your time. I think you've gotten us excited about art and the exhibition. I'm definitely going to check it out. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump across the road from here anyway, so I might as well check it out. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks for having me. My absolute pleasure. That was Scapegoat Gallery manager Matthew Krouse talking to us about the David Yarrow solo exhibition that's currently on at the Scapegoat Gallery just across the road here in Hyde Park Corner. So definitely take a look if you are in the area. But after the